What's up guys, Deagle here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. So in today's video I want to cover the max DPS version of the Magicka Nightblade for the Summerset chapter. I already released a different version of this build for the Cloud Rest trial. This one focuses totally on DPS, so if you're looking for exactly that, this is the right video for you. So that was the DPS test. Of course you can push it a little bit higher. I didn't have a lot of crit luck in that video. I did another test with mechanical acuity and I got a little bit better results. But I can show the combat metrics parses in a few seconds again. Let's focus on the stats first. So we are a Dark Elf. Dark Elf is the best race, hands down. 7% more fire damage is just too good. Next best race would be High Elf. You have 10% more max magic compared to the 9% of Dark Elf, but only 4% more elemental damage. The Dark Elf has 7% more fire damage, and we deal a lot of fire damage here, so that's a little bit stronger compared to the High Elf. However, High Elf has 10% more magical recovery, so you have less issues with sustain. If you're a Dark Elf, you can be a Vampire, then you will get the extra 10% magical recovery as well, and on the High Elf, you don't really need the Vampire for the recovery. We use the Apprentice Monostone, we use Clockwork Citrus Relay. As you can see, we have a really high spell crit chance. This is buffed. You can add another 3% from the Minor Prophecy passive from the Sorks in groups or in trials, and then yeah, our crit chance will be really high. 15k HP is just about enough. You can have a little bit more, of course, if you switch your monster set, but in most situations 15k is actually fine. I've played a lot on like basically almost all content so far up until Cloud Rest with just 15k HP, and I managed just fine. For the gear, so I've done a lot of testing, and there will be a lot of people that will probably tell you, okay, use Mother Sorrow instead of Acuity. I partly agree, not totally, I just partly agree. And then also what they recommend is like wear jewelry pieces and wear a staff of Mother Sorrow, which would be this one here. This I don't agree with. The thing is, if you look at my stats, like how I play it now, I combine it of course with the new raid set, Mantle of Seroria, all divine pieces. You get it in a new trial in Cloud Rest. It's the perfected version, so we get spell damage, Minor Slayer, Magicka, and the 5-piece adds another Magicka, 1.1k. And then when we deal direct damage, we create this fire ring underneath us that gives us spell damage, and we get, for each for each stack we get an additional 30 spell damage and 20 stacks max. So we get 600 spell damage total. As long as we stay inside of that circle. After 5 seconds, the stacks disappear. So if there's no circle that we stand in after 5 seconds, we lose all the stacks and we have to rebuild them. So in fights where we have to move a lot, this is actually not a really good set. But in all other fights, this is by far best in slot. So we use 3 pieces on the body and 1 staff. There will be people probably telling you wear a Mother Sorrow staff, then jewelry pieces, and wear Sororya on the body only. I don't really agree with it, because I always had less DPS with that play style compared to this one here with the Sororya staff. If you look at my crit chance, it's 54 on the back bar, 66 on the front bar. However, if I drink a potion, I get the crit buff, and then it's just 2% crit chance difference. If we go with the Mother Sorrow staff and wear Sororya on the body completely, I only have 55% on the back bar compared to my 66%. That's really, really low. So 11% crit chance difference. That's quite a bit. So what we want to do instead is trying to get the perfect Sororya Inferno Staff. Wear 2 Mother Sorrow body pieces. So 3 rings, 2 body pieces, and Sororya on the body, and you're completely fine. That way we still maintain a high crit chance on the back bar. However, one sec. Oh, this is Master Architect. Okay, now it's fine again. So, that way we still maintain high crit chance, and we switch to the front bar often enough to be able to keep the Sororya set bonus active almost all times. Like, it's not like we spend like 5 seconds on the back bar and then like the buff runs out. So don't worry. Like, I've tested it and I always got far more DPS with this set combination compared to running a Mother Sorrow staff on the front bar. The same goes for mechanical acuity. So what's the deal with acuity? Can we replace Mother Sorrow with acuity? Yes, that works. However, having it only on the front bar resulted in really bad uptimes, really poor uptimes. I had to do it the same way. I had to wear basically wear 5 mechanical acuity on the body, or either 3 rings. You can craft it. If you have 6 traits on rings and necklaces analyzed, then you can wear mechanical acuity as jewelry pieces, and then 2 body pieces. And then I also got really interesting results. I could just basically show to you. So mechanical acuity gave me this test right here. So this was my strongest test. Acuity uptime was 25%. 3 procs. The crits were okay, I guess. Will of Assassin was a little bit low, but that's not too big of an issue. 62% total critical strikes compared to 61 here with Mother Sorrow, and I really didn't have a lot of crit luck. Like my Assassin's Will, they 100% crits. That's really lucky, but this one here wasn't lucky at all. And yeah, and also the impales, the executes. Like I could have gone higher here if I had better crits on my impale, but yeah, whatever. Just that's a little bit bad luck, but they're really close. And if you like, question now is which one is better, Mother Sorrow or Acuity? Mother Sorrow will give you way more consistent results. So if you have really short fights and you think you will have a lot of proc luck, then you can go with Acuity. They're really close together, and yeah, it's completely up to you. Acuity, like I said, is a craftable option. Mother Sorrow, you can buy it or farm it, and yeah, then perfected Sororya. We're using a few stuff on the front bar with a flame damage glyph. all spell damage on the jewelry pieces, and on the back bar we use the Maelstrom Inferno Staff infused. Please do not use Nirnhound. Infused is much better, trust me. The uptime on the glyph is just too important, so don't go with Nirnhound. And then we combine it with Zahn. So Zahn gives us spell crit, and when we deal damage both light or heavy attack, we have a chance to proc that beam, and it deals flame damage. And yeah, that's really strong. So Zahn is the set we want to use. Most people will be like, okay, we are a ranged class, why do you use Zahn? So you can still use Zahn. It's not like it's only for ranged builds. It's not only for melee builds. You can still use it on the Magicka Nightblade. I've used it in trials. I've used it in a lot of situations where I'm supposed to actually be ranged, and it still works and it still outperforms other monster sets. However, if you think your HP is a bit too low, you can just go with Valkyrie. You will lose a bit of crit chance, but you have more HP. I just prefer Zahn because it's just far more DPS. So, what are the replacement sets that you can use? It's pretty simple. For Warriyo, what you can do instead is, for example, go with a non-perfected version. That's really easily farmable in the normal Cloud Rest trial. The only difference is that the 5-piece bonus only gives you the extra spell damage, not an additional 1.1k Magicka. So you lose that max Magicka, which is a little bit less DPS, but it's still stronger than other sets. What was also really strong in the test that I've done was Burning Spellweave. People might not believe it, but it was actually really strong. And I use the Burning Spellweave staff. You need the staff, of course, because you also want to have the crit chance. So Burning Spellweave, 3 body pieces, and the staff, then Mother Sorrow with that combined, and that. And I did a test. This was the test with Burning Spellweave. I had a little bit of bad luck with Burning Spellweave with the uptime. Usually my uptime is higher on the Magblade. But I still did 48.3k. I had a ton of luck with the crits, to be honest, as you can see here. But it's not like too far away. So you can, like, if you do not have access to Summerset and access to the new trial, you can still go with Burning Spellweave, and you will still deal good DPS. Yeah, so that's one of the options that you have. Otherwise, if you look for just a completely craftable option, you can just combine Mother Sorrow with Julianos. It's up to you. Other than that, there's nothing that I really can recommend. Maybe Master Architect. You can still play, for example, Mother Sorrow, 3 jewelry pieces, 1 staff, and then Master Architect on the body. So Master Architect look like this. So we have 5 pieces of Master Architect, and then we need Mother Sorrow here. So we have 5 pieces of Mother Sorrow with Master Architect. We have 66% spell crit chance. On the back bar, however, we only have 51%. So that's quite the difference. As you can see, 14% difference in spell crit, or 13.5% difference in spell crit chance, and that's just a little bit too much for my taste. But it also works, of course. And then, of course, again, Master Architect combined with a QT also works. Anyway, let's just put on Warriyo again. So Warriyo, Mother Sorrow. So that's about it for gear. Let's have a look at skills. So the main spell is Elemental Weapon. That's the new skill from the Psychic Order. Our next light attack, when we cast it, deals an additional 10k magic damage. It's really strong. And on top of that, we have the passive Spell Orb. After 5 casts of the Psychic Order skill, we deal an additional 5k magic damage. And yeah, in a DPS test, so in a DPS test, the Spell Orb deals, let's have a look at the DPS test here. The Spell Orb deals an additional 300 DPS, 350, and it hits up to 11k. So that's kind of nice, I guess. So this is our main spammable. If you do not have access to the strategic order skill line, go with Funnel Health. Then we have Merciless Resolve. Gets us Minor Berserk, 8% more damage, which is nice. We also get that from Combat Prayer from healers, but we do not have to rely on the healers, so we can just buff ourselves. Every 5 light attacks we can shoot a Spectral Bow and deals a ton of damage. So, really, really important. Then we have Crippling Grasp. We need, for Magicka Flood, for the 8% extra max Magicka, we need a siphoning ability on the front bar, which is Crippling Grasp. I do not recommend to go with siphoning attacks because if we have Crippling Grasp on the back bar too, we will cast 3 dots in the back bar. And if you like wear Mother Sorrow as a staff with Sororia or with Burning Spell Wave or whatever set you combine it with, you will spend so much time on the back bar recasting your dots, and it's just not good for your uptimes. Trust me, you do not want to do that. So Crippling Grasp on the front bar for the passive, and also really good single target dot. We do not recast this during execute. We only recast Blockade and Path during execute. Speaking of execute, we have Impale here now. Use it at 25% or less HP, and it deals a ton of damage too. Then we have Inner Light. It gets us 5% extra max Magicka, and on top of that another 2% from the passive of the Mage's Guild. Then we have Fiery Rage, really strong ultimate, really strong AoE. It's really expensive, but we usually only use it at the start, and then we continued using Soul Harvest, which is the ultimate here because it's cheaper. It only costs 70 ultimate, and it increases the damage done against the target by 20% for 6 seconds, but we need the Destro ult on the front bar for the passive Ancient Knowledge. So we need the Destro ability to get 8% more damage on our single target abilities because we have a Flame Staff equipped. And single target is Elemental Weapon, the Spectral Bow, the Impale, and then of course our light attacks. Oh, one sec. I still had from the DPS test. So I had that here. So Soul Harvest, I already explained it. And then we have Harness Magicka. Self-explanatory, I guess. We use this as our shield to prevent ourselves from getting too much damage, or at least receiving too much damage. Then we have Channeled Acceleration. It's also a new skill from the Psychic Order. Gives us minor force for 36 seconds. This is really cool because we do not have to rely on guard, or we also do not have to use a rearming trap, so we can play ranged with this skill and still get minor force, which is really cool if we have so much spell crit chance with Mother Sorrow. So Channeled Acceleration. If you do not have access to a Psychic Order, what you can do is either go with Inner Light on the back bar, so you do not drop off as much from your max Magicka pool, and you also get bigger shield because of that. Or if you really need the Minor Force, you can just go with Trap. Then we have Siphoning Attacks, because we need a Siphoning ability on the back bar, and it also heals us with our light and heavy attacks, and on top of that we get back 4.2k additional Magicka when it runs out, so that's pretty cool for sustain. Then we have Twisting Path, got nerfed a little bit with Summerset, but yeah, it's an AoE an AoE dot, lasts 11.5 seconds, and then we have Blockade of Fire as our Destro ability on the back bar. Also AoE dot activates our Maelstrom Staff, really important. Lasts 8 seconds, same as Crippling Grasp. So much for skills. Let's have a look at champion points. So we actually don't need the points into tenacity. I'm just like so used to putting them there, so you can just put 100 here and just put them like in Sprinter or Warlord if you want to. So we have 76 into Arcanist, 56 tenacity, 28 Warlord, 2 into Sprinter, 48 Shadowboard, 40 into Tumbling. Then we have 81 Ironclad, 22 into Spell Shield, 49 Hardy, 49 L Defender, 34 Thick Skin, 15 in Quick Recovery. For the blue tree, we have 23 into Spell Erosion, 56 into Elemental Expert, 52 into Elfborn. If you need more points into Spell Erosion, you can use some points from Staff Expert. However, you will lose the passive here. Increases your damage done with light and heavy attacks by 5% to enemies below 25% health, which is really nice. And you can also take out some points from Elemental Expert. It's up to you. And we have 66 into Master Arms and 14 to Thaumaturge. But like, I usually go with points from Staff Expert if I need more points into Spell Erosion, because these here only buff our light attacks. Only the light attacks. They deal the most DPS, that's true, but if you take out points here, all our skills will deal less damage, so I just go with the points from here. Anyway guys, that's it for the champion points. Let's have a look at how we actually have to play with this setup. So let's get Drain so we do not run out of Magicka. So basically what I do is I just keep track of my buffs and debuffs and dots. So I buff myself up. Yeah, I buff myself up here, and then I put down Blockade, Path, Grasp, Light Attack, and with the 5th Light Attack I always shoot my Spectral Bow. Now you see my Blockade is running out, so I recast it, my Spectral Bow is ready, my Grasp runs out, my Path runs out. Now I have to recast my Merciless, Blockade ran out, Grasp ran out, okay, Spectral Bow is ready, Path is about to run out, Blockade is about to run out, Spectral Bow is ready. Okay, I don't know what these graphic errors are. Okay, it runs out. It's just like... Okay. I'm not sure why the game is acting up. Okay, it's fine again. I'm really sorry, I don't know what's happening. Okay, but this is basically how I play. So what I do, I try to track my dots every time my Merciless Resolve hits 4. I just light attack and shoot the Spectral Bow instantly. And while doing that, I just keep track of my dots. And you see it's went 4 again, so I can shoot it. I have to recast it now. So my Blockade runs out. Then my Grasp runs out. It's at 4 again. And Twisting Path runs out. I'm at 4, and the Blockade runs out. Grasp ran out. And it just goes on like that the whole time. And I also, of course, keep track of my siphoning attacks and my channel acceleration, so it doesn't run out all the time. It's really not that hard, but I know that's a little bit of an issue for the console players. So for the console players, basically what you can do is like you buff yourself up, you cast Blockade, you cast Path, you cast Grasp, and when the Spectral Bow is ready, you shoot it, and then you do 1, 2, 3, Blockade, Path, Grasp, you shoot it, you recast it, 1, 2, 3, Blockade, Path, Grasp, shooting, 1, 2, 3, Blockade, Path, Grasp, shoot, recast, 1, 2, 3. Like with this playstyle, you only get off 2 Spectral Bows per cast of Merciless Resolve. How I play it, which I can basically only do on I wish I can only do, at least in trials, only do on PC. I can get off 3 all the time. But like a more static rotation is easier for the people on console. That's pretty much it, guys. So if you have any further questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. I'd really much appreciate it. And if you do not want to miss any more ESO content, hit the sub button. And also make sure to hit the button on the little bell to the sub button, so you always get notified when I upload new videos. Anyways, guys, I hope you tune in next time too. So until then, bye bye.